Hello to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are here for the second appointment of our Sartoretto Verna webinar for the Capsule World, that is a creative lab. I welcome you, and today there are so many topics, so many things to say about the right exposition in your front end, in your pharmacy. So by the way, let's start. And I remember you that if you have any question, please write in the chat and we will answer right away after the webinar. So let's start together. And this is what we are talking today. So first of all, I want to remind you what is the Capsule World. It's a lab, like I told you, a creative lab that Sartoretto Verna created in the 2016 to put together all the needs that a pharmacy owner have around the world. But it's not a limit to the webinar, because of course you are welcome to come in our headquarters, and there will be some training days, workshop, open days, new product presentation. This is our headquarters in Rome, Italy. I know sometimes from some of you it's very far, but it's not too far, because Rome is always a goal, a beautiful city to visit, and of course our headquarters too. We are right now in 39 countries around the world. If your country is not in one that we already realize pharmacy, you are welcome. You can be the first in your same country, and we are ready also to work with you. Just to remind you, a lot of groups that work with us. Last week, we inaugurate our first pharmacy for Brennan's Pharmacy Group in Ireland, but we work right now for PharmaSave in a new hospital pharmacy in Toronto, or for my clinic in Saudi Arabia. We are doing beautiful job in hospital and clinic in Jeddah and Riyadh. So it's always a continuous work that we do, and I invite you also to enroll in my newsletter, Pharmacy Design Secret, that usually twice a month we publish many different interesting argue and discussion about how to implement your pharmacy. I wanted to start with, like last time, with one of our last realization. I just received this video yesterday, and I wanted to share with you because I think it's very cool. So I hope you enjoy this pharmacy, and after this video I want to shock you with this image. But why? I want to tell you something. Your patient has unconsciously learned the supermarket display in the recent years. So it's habit to the display of the supermarket. And now the point of sales is changing because, as I told you last time, the market in pharmacies change after COVID dramatically, and every month change. We see a differentiation, a different way to act inside the pharmacy. So it's very important, as I told you, the patient experience. Please keep in mind that in the pharmacy, your patient enter because he needs to satisfy a need and not only to buy a product. So the goal is not to buy a product for him, but to satisfy a needs. In the video I show you, in fact, what we write over the prescription counter was not medicine or prescription like is the usually all over the world. We want to focalize the attention in the prescription dispensing, but we write listening, dialogue, and trust, because the pharmacist must help and guide to satisfy this need that your patient has. And so how we can push your patient that come inside the pharmacy for satisfy his needs to buy the medicine, to buy something more. Of course, not in this way. I will show you some picture very quickly for what, for my opinion, I'm not a marketing person. I'm an architect specialized in pharmacy design. My family from 1965 do this job, and our life come parallel with the life of pharmacy all over the world. So this for me is a wrong pharmacy merchandising. You see how is crowd, how is not clear. Also, if in the upper part there are some category, you don't see them because the product are cover everything. You feel really like it's a nightmare. And after this, I want to show you a good pharmacy merchandising. When I come inside the pharmacy, what I see immediately is colors, is beauty, is everything is clear. So again, for me, it's a wrong pharmacy merchandising because you don't see the category, you don't see exactly the product in order, also if there is apparent order in this pharmacy. And here, a good pharmacy merchandising on which it's clear that I'm talking about babies. There is also, right, for the kids, for the mom, all the different category I need for satisfy my need for my babies. And here again, a gondola that is totally submerged about electricals, so wrong pharmacy merchandising. The gondola is so huge that they cover almost completely the rest of the pharmacy. There is disorder, is not... there is a clear visual of the pharmacy. And here, something that make you feel, relax. I can see there are seasonal, something from the lab of the pharmacy. There is a wellness, a freshness, the color attract you. It's an experience, the patient experience we talked last time. So let's go more in deep. So front end and your patient. So put the start that we want to create this patient-centric atmosphere inside your pharmacy. But why we want not to cover all the pharmacy to thousands of products? I will explain you immediately. First of all of us are always in quick time. So when we come in pharmacy, sometimes we come and go. We don't want to lose time waiting. So the time dedicated to the shopping in general is limited. So facilitating the choice that your patient has inside your front end, it's important to create the stimulation to purchase more. So for me, and there are a lot of theories, not only for Sartoretto Verna, for our experience, but of course for a lot of theory that scientific they study with the eye tracking and more, that too much abundant assortment create in the patient a very complex choice, and this creates confusion, and this means I think I will do this shopping later. Instead, if you have an optimized assortment of your product, this facilitates the choice. It's like to say, okay, you have the time because I push you to make this choice. And so it's very easier to push the patient to purchase their product. And as I told you, I'm not a merchandising expert because there are so many managers that are and study this. It's a science that is so big, but I want to suggest you the basics. So merchandising, first of all, is all the technique and activity that are based on market analysis and your patient behavior in the way that you can optimize based on this activity the display space and push the profitability of your pharmacy. The four core principles of merchandising are the 4P, so product, placement, pricing, and promotion. What I want to say here is that if you do the things in the right way, so right product, and so we talk about the assortment and the offer that you give to your patient, the right display, and so you will push to create an impulse to purchase your specialized product, the right timing, and so you make a seasonal offer, a promotional campaign in your pharmacy at the right price, because of course also the profitability and the profit are connected. All this information, the right quantity and the right communication, we will not talk in this webinar, but in next that they will be in the year. If you do right all these things, and so if you consider the merchandising in your front end, you will gain and you will have increase on sales. And so how, what is your patient perspective? So what they want from you? They, of course, they want for you that, as we said before, that you satisfy their own need. So we need first to understand what are the needs of your patient, and this is different from location to location, from country to country. You can trigger them, so they have some needs that they don't know that they have, and so this is very important, the exposition, and then you can guide through the layout design, through a right exposition in their purchase. And so this I want to make clear what are why to use the visual merchandising, that is the one we use in the pharmacy, and why is good for your business. Of course, to improve the aesthetic of your pharmacy is appealing, and this enhance the shopper to buy the product, improve also the space, help to boost the store sale for square foot if you give a better exposure of your goods, enhance the impulse purchase, we say, and helps to improve the stock control. That is very important also in terms of the organization of the pharmacy, because we eliminate the replenishment cost. So let's go a little bit deeper and let's talk from the visual merchandising to the category management. What is category? Category is to group the universe of the goods that you sell in the pharmacy in some, let's grouping in category. So it's a criteria to divide the merchandising by brand, by needs, by therapeutic, or by some customer segmentation that you have. And how is the good distribution of the product directly on the shelves? Here I make a schematic way considering the eye tracking of your patient. So this is usually the general things that happen when a patient comes closer to a shelves. Let's say that the hot spot, so the majority of the purchase items, are chosen through a visual approach that is from 1 meter to 1 meter and 50. So we are talking about 3 to 5 feet on the shelves. Above is the purchase level where the arms arrive. So a good shelf is the one that is not more than this. And down is what the arm can reach without to go on the knee and so go down. So let's consider, for example, the elder people that will be very, very difficult for them to reach the lower part. And so usually we put the stock base on the lower part if we don't need a completely visibility on the shelves. So what happened in the last years with the introduction of the mobile? That this point of eye level is lower right now. So key product and special offer are placed right now in the lower part between 5 feet and 5 feet, almost 6 feet. What happened is because the increasing use of smartphone in the pharmacy, in the store in general, they ever see that, of course, the eyes is turning down, and so you need to export the product, the one that you want to push more the sale in the lower side. So the top and the bottom shelf are using less right now. Consider this when you do your exposition inside the front end. And what are the rules for do a right exposition? I consider not a single display, because as we saw also in the picture I showed you before, they create an incredible confusion to put every single reference. So it's better, like, and these pharmacy chain, pharmacy group are very good on this, to create a mass of color, mass of product. Usually minimum is 30 centimeter, so we are talking about 12 inch. So repeat the same product minimum for this wide, and in this way you will ensure a sufficient frontal exposure that is very attractive. We call this facing. So facing is to create this approach frontal for your patient. And the proper use, what will create? So, of course, will stimulate the sense of your patient, bring an increase of the purchase. So, we'll have a spontaneous purchase because the product will be more visible and will be more attractive. And here I want to talk with you about the two different way to expo. So the vertical and the horizontal. About each of them, vertical, horizontal, have advantage and disadvantage. So let's look these together and what I can suggest you to use. So first of all, we talk about vertical expo. You see here the picture when we have a wide range about 60 to 90 centimeter. We are talking about 23, 35 inches about. What mean vertical? A vertical expo is the one that let your customer, let your patient read the product in a vertical way. So the eyes of the people go from up to down and create this sort of contrary N. What are the advantage of this vertical exposure? Of course, that the visibility is increased because a lot of products are more at the eye level and so are easier for your patient to see and reach. There is a organization that is very clear and a space efficiency because you can maximize the use of vertical space that can be beneficial overall in smaller pharmacy. But the disadvantage you see are not so many, but there are. So you are limited space because as the wide is 60 centimeter, you have not so much space to expo the product. So if you don't manage and you are a little bit messy, some product might be out of the customer reach and will be harder to stock to manage your stock management. Let's go on the horizontal. When we talk about horizontal, you always think about supermarket, a huge horizontal expo. So the eyes come in this way, make a zigzag on the shelves, run through the lines of the horizontal, and it is ideal in the pharmacy to create a storytelling, a cross-selling maybe in the expo. The advantage is the product are more accessible at a lower level, of course, because you have a wide range of product and it's easier to browse for your patient and pick items. You can group in the product because you have more space and there is more stock visibility. But the disadvantage is that you consume a lot of space because for horizontal space you need more space and this is not efficient when we talk about a smaller pharmacy. And you have a visibility issue because to have so many goods and product, of course, you lose what is the focus. So what is the best expo for a pharmacy? I can say a combination. It depends, of course, if the pharmacy is small or big. We from Sartoretto Verna, we prefer a vertical reading of the expo of the goods. And so I want also to show you because it depends also from the category. Of course, if we talk about skincare, beauty, cosmetics, what is predominant choice criteria are the brand. And so you see in this picture, the brand are the one that are protagonists in the cosmetic. If we talk instead in the pharmacy, in the rest of the pharmacy, to, like we talked before, to satisfy your needs, the most effective choice is to display according the needs. So in this case, you see a sport nutritional corner expo in this way. So we expo not by the brand, by the needs that can attract your patient. Of course, it's important, but I will not talk so much about the central gondola here. Usually, we suggest that are not tall. I know in US and Canada, in many country, still there are tall gondola, but recent study see that people like to see completely visual of the pharmacy, and these tall gondola are not good for this reason, because they close the visually and the continuity and the space inside the pharmacy. Are very important also to introduce promotion in low furniture that are more attractive, maybe colorful, maybe with the signage that can attract the attention. Here is an example of how to attract the attention towards the baby sector, dedicating a area for babies. So the colorful area, the toys, the chair needs to attract the mom, the parents in this area, where the exposition in the gondola show exactly and satisfy the needs for family. Here the same, if we talk about elder people, to create an area with a waiting nice area inside the front end, of course, help them to relax and to also take a look in peace, as they don't have this hurriness we have, to take a look to the product in a slow way. I want also to make a point about layout optimization very quick. A layout is not to fit a fixture around the wall and put a ton of gondolas, but a layout is a very a big study to optimize the space and to create also a combination between the right category in the layout of the pharmacy. In this case, of course, you see in the entrance there is a welcome counter, but also some bargain sale promotion that create an island around which the people are constrained to follow a pathway that we create in the layout, and to follow what we talked in the last webinar, the focal point that are very important to move the people. So why to create a layout optimization is to create as much as possible less cold areas. In your pharmacy, there are cold areas, hot areas. Hot areas, of course, are the one near the prescription counter, but if the layout is well done, are also the one that impulse your purchase and create brand visibility. The cold areas are the one on which I suggest you to create planned categories, specific targets, and like the supermarket are very good to do, to put some product that you have the needs anyway to go to buy, and you will go in and search for that. Here is a schematic. I go quicker now to create a right exposition, so macro category on top. This is not the webinar for the communication. We will do one target only this, but I want just to give you a note to create always a minimum 3 level of communication: macro category, sector, and product information. This is a picture that shows you how can be impactful and clean in the visibility, the macro category. And here other layout optimization talking about mass effect that have some attraction and promo readability with some visual on top that attract the attention. And here just a little note for you. This is an Irish pharmacy that I took a picture some months ago. For me, a wrong use of temporary display, because most of the time the pharmacy I visit have this ton ton expo, temporary expo that cover totally your real expo. So the accessibility without barriers is very important. This is not a correct way to do layout, to do exhibition, because I know it's important to introduce some of temporary expo, but you need to find the right position. Why? Because we know that visibility and the sales came most from display cabinet and gondolas. Also, if your supply tell the not this, but only the 10% came from brand temporary display stands. So if we compare the profitability from temporary display and the display cabinet on the wall, you know the answer. You need to change something in your pharmacy. Just a repetition of what are the right dimension and distance for your patient in the way that they are comfort. So sometimes I see pharmacy where there are aisles that are very narrow and head cake because it's impossible to go with a stroller or for elder people that need accessibility. So let's say that the right dimension is 120 centimeter, 140 if we need to pass with the stroller and another person looking for the expo on my right. 90% of the people who touch the product, they approaching the product, then buy. So keep in mind this important note. And here some of our solution for angular exposure, very elegant, very attractive, mono brand. You see, you can do gondola also in a different way, focal point inside the pharmacy. So these are smart use of merchandise out of the shelves. Here I will go very quick because we have not so much time. Thank you for your question. Please write in the chat any question you may have. We have a project. Consider everything we say in the last webinar. If you lost the first webinar, ask in the chat and we will send the registration. It's not online yet, just because I want to dedicate this webinar to the pharmacy, our client, or who is interesting. But soon I think I will do a series also in YouTube. But here there is what I consider a really pharmacy health hub, so a medical center. You come inside the pharmacy, you have a welcome with a information point. The gift, the seasonal exposition are held in the central and in the gondola, where you have also selected product, OTC, whatever. On the right, when you come inside the pharmacy, most of all, you have the skincare or the product that you want to push more. But as you can see, part of the pharmacy is given for consultation room, infusion, vaccination. So space that you dedicate to the diagnostic and checkup of your patient. On the left, mix use of exposition and also education. But I want to show you the picture of the pharmacy that we realize, and that really is something that consider all the space in the right way, both promotional and for shopping and for the service. So the combination for these three moments, shopping, diagnostic and education, is vital, is what is the patient experience of the today and the future pharmacy. Of course, also to introduce inside the pharmacy some spot, coffee bar, tea time, chocolate trick, where they can relax, and you can have also, the pharmacist can have a private talk in a space that is dedicated to your patient experience. So I want to end this webinar with an exercise for you to do immediately, because Sartoretto Verna want always to be practical, so not too much chat, but a practical solution for your front end. So now, when finish the webinar or in the next days, please take a look with the new eye your front end of your own pharmacy and answer to this following question. If you want, you can send also to me your question. We will talk together. We can have a Zoom talk and talk about this. Take a picture of this. I will not read again for you, but these are the questions that are very important to understand if your front end work very well, and so you do the exposition in the right way. Thank you very much. We are at the end of this webinar. Next webinar, the 12th of July. And also, please tell me what is the right time is good for you. Also, if the people that write me yesterday and the day before yesterday told me they need at a different time, so I will send the registration of this. But tell me, so I will understand what is the right time to do my webinar. And the next webinar, it will be something that is, again, really, really important in the today pharmacy market, that is the brightness of your pharmacy, the light inside the pharmacy. So I will explain for Sartoretto Verna what are the lighting tactics, and there will be also some of my architect told you from the architecture point of view what are the wrong and the good inside your pharmacy. Thank you very much. You can find us in all the social. Please go in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in our Instagram, and follow us. It's been a pleasure to stay with you. And so thank you very much and see you next time. Bye. Bye-bye.